Alright, y'all. It's time for another set of Lurk It games. For those that don't know what I mean when I say that, basically we are going to be doing a set of games given to me through the service Lurk It, so these are all codes I received for free to do coverage on these games. So bear that in mind when you see any of my impressions of any of these. We'll be going into each game in their own time. We're not going to be taking the focus away from any particular game here. So, first off, we have Steel Knight's Armis here, which the specific things that make this game unique is it is a survivor style game in part, but it's also, from what I've seen, got a very heavy anime inspiration for one, which that's not that unique in the genre at this point, but it still stands out on its own a bit there. And it's also got vertical scrolling shmup segments, which I did not see in my testing yet, so I don't know how well those will go, but I'm interested to see how that'll work out. So I don't know if your upgrades that you pick in the survivor stages are going to affect that or not, so I'm actually very interested to see how that will work in the grand scheme of things. And of course, you seem to have a lot of pilot options, though we only have your Cardinal here at the moment. I have upgraded him a little bit because I did one test run and got actually quite a bit of credits, all things considered. And you can refund that all freely, as usual, so that's pretty good. But I'll walk y'all through the upgrades while we're here, right quick, just as a starter. You got your usual damage increase, cooldown reduction, speed increase, debris destruction speed. I don't entirely know what this means yet, so I didn't encounter any like major debris I had to destroy in the test as to the first stage. Damage reduction, wingman deployment. We'll get to what that means in a little bit here, but it's interesting that there's an upgrade for that. Increased max HP, pickup range, experience gain, and luck, with the wonderful message of might be something good happening. You'll love to see it. That covers all of that, and then there's this unlock screen here, where you can use credits to unlock units and pilots. We don't have anything to unlock here yet, because I presume you have to get the capacity to unlock them first, and then spend your credits to unlock them. So I guess it's kind of like a gacha machine? I don't really know how that'll work yet. But as you can see, it's split into 5 chapters, and there's a set of episodes to each chapter. I did a test run of episode 1, chapter 1, and fun fact, I died. Like, I didn't actually throw, I died in chapter 1. But I was being a little bit lazy. Like, to say I didn't throw is not entirely accurate, but I didn't, like, go out of my way to self-destruct either, if that makes sense. But still, Chapter 1, Beacon of Hope. Jorg and the rebels head to the Earth Union hangar are now under Zand Empire control to seize the legendary mech Spada. Now, there may be a musical intro to this. I'm gonna just hope that it doesn't get copyright flagged. It shouldn't, because I presume it's music for the game, but, you know, just gonna state that now. So, if those that end up watching this on YouTube later don't see this segment, that's why, because I'll have had to trim it off for YouTube. You select your pilot and your wingman. In this particular case, we don't have any other options, so these two are coming along. You can go to your pilot enhancement immediately from this screen, which is always good. And you can see their age and affiliation, a little bit about them. In this case, Jorg, a member of White Fang, the rebel force sworn to reclaim Earth, a steel-clad warrior whose name strikes fear even into enemy ranks. And then you get to choose your armis. We only have the one armis, but I'm gonna assume these are like faction sections. We've just got the Canis R, the Rebel Custom. Starts with a 115mm machine gun, has a bunch of sub-slots and buff slots, 500 hit points, kinda meh attack power, good speed, meh acceleration, decent deceleration, okay turn performance, and very good collection area. A Canis model Well, originally developed by the Earth Union Army, modified by Rebel Armis engineer Delico Valero for our high customizability. And you can spin it around to look at it if you want. It's a little on the basic side, but it's your starting unit, and it's a mass-produced unit from what it says up here, so you can't really expect too much, right? And you can see that the other two have their own unique armises as well, that we do not have access to. Yep, there's the music. I'm gonna interrupt it a little bit here and there, just in case of copyright. But it's a nice song. But you can kind of get the idea of what I was talking about with the anime inspiration pretty well here. This is, I do believe, skippable, but I'm gonna let it play out. Just so you all get to see the credits. Because that seems to be what the point of the segment is a credit intro. And obviously the developers deserve to have their credits shown. They put in a lot of work to make these things happen. Also sets the scene quite nicely for the battle we're about to be engaging in. There's our little formation. Hopefully the volume's okay on this. Yeah, it looks okay. I had checked on all of that when I was testing everything, but you can never guarantee anything. And as always, as it says at the bottom of the screen, if you're interested in the game, just type !lurkit and you can get a link to the store page. I did not get a specific tracking link for this one, but you'll be able to figure it out just fine. And from the store page link, it's the same place you'd get sent to for the tracking link anyway. Alright. We're in action now. Standard WASD move around. You do have a dodge that they'll explain in a little bit here. There's actually an in-universe explanation for the dodge. And as usual, you get a choice of upgrades. In this case, we actually got less interesting upgrades. I actually got like new weapons right off the bat when I did the test run. So you can get speed up, increased base damage, or increased weapon damage. Let's go ahead and get speed up because our mech's a little slow. As you can see, you just have crowds of ships coming after you currently. And you do have a sword you can use as well, but it's automatic. It'll attack anything that gets close to you. We don't need those right now, so we're gonna just take the expanded pickup range. The blue circle around me, I believe, is my pickup radius? No, not quite. So we got the slash spinner. Spawns left and right attacking for a limited duration. We can speed up again or get increased base damage. Let's go ahead and get the slash spinner. We just now have little blade spinners out the sides. Yeah, and they're talking about the crystals we're picking up because apparently they boost the ability of armises, which is the generic name for mechs like what we're using. Sure, we'll take a missile launcher. That seems like a good idea to have. They're the power source of these machines. The more crystals we have, the stronger we get. The missile pod attacks in my movement direction. That's the only reason I'm not going to take that. Yeah, there we go. I was going to say, I'd love to kill that. Thankfully, one of my companions is a better shot than I am right now. You get all three of these items, by the way. These chests give you everything that you see visibly on the screen, including all these credits. So chests are very good to get. So we boosted our missile launcher, our machine gun, and our movement speed. And that's an enemy armis. Notice how it's bigger than ours. It's also a lot stronger. That's what killed me before, is going toe-to-toe with one of those. Because I'm like, oh yeah, I killed a couple of these already. They're not too bad. And I immediately got bodied. Because I just floated in front of him for a moment. I'm like, yeah, I got this. Bam! And now they're realizing, hey, You're not supposed to have one of these. That must be the rebels. There's our sword. Yeah, you know what, let's make our sword a little stronger. Now they're gonna do the explanation about the dodge, the oracle shift. He's done referring to a lot of characters by name that we don't know yet. Sure, a little laser. Okay, see, I thought it was gonna be like a spinning laser, not a directional laser. Yeah, that's the thing that drops containers. Give. Oh yeah, there's one other thing I should do. Give me 1 sec. Because this game seemed like it had a little bit of flashing, and there's at the very least one other of the games that's going to need a warning label. So I'll probably just leave that on. In Ferris Nova, a heavy beam cannon with immense firepower, among the most powerful sub-weapons. Sure. Okay, it just kind of fires a big cannon off. Looks like it fires in the direction I'm moving, though. So that could be a problem. Thankfully, though, these nice big mechs they've got still don't stand a chance against us as long as I'm being smart. More machine gun shots. It's hard to hit anything with the beam cannon, though. Just because you have to be heading towards the opponent. Yeah, right now, our whole objective is just don't die. That's how we win this fight, is just don't die. The real good thing that none of these enemy ships are equipped with weapons, huh? They just kind of fly at you. The mechs have weapons, but they're not that great at using them either. What the sound effects can do with lowering a little bit. That should be a bit better. Just once it started getting a lot more hectic, I noticed it was starting to hit a little hard. Not really gonna worry about increasing the Ferris Nova since I can't mention anything with it. Ooh, container. Now we're gonna meet up with the former head of Earth's R&D. That should be somebody good to know, yeah. A lot more credits. Guess that's why we don't know much about Owl yet. Yeah, being forced to watch your creation be used against your own people definitely seems like a reason to defect. That checks. Yeah, having a friend of his working with us definitely will help convince him too. Any kind of connection makes it a little easier. Another container. Okay, boosting our Nova anyway. That's fine. It is clearing regular enemies quite well, just I can't hit any specific targets that I would like to with it. So I'm still having a little bit of maneuvering trouble. Ironically enough, as far as firing a weapon at a target goes, I'm actually moving too fast because I'm getting too close to my target too quickly. So I can't actually wait for it to fire well enough. Obviously, I could time my turn for it too, but it is what it is. I mean, you say there's a huge gap in power, but I think you've got the wrong way around, considering you all are just being destroyed left and right here. Who's got the gap in power now? The only time y'all even managed to hit me is when I flew into somebody. Which, you know, maybe that's not exactly the flex I want to make it sound like, but still. It's fine. Another container? 2 missile launcher upgrades and an orbital laser upgrade. Okay.
Raven, 家族とは話をしてきた。息子は俺と違って頭がいい。まともな人間になってくる。違いないな。落ちろ!
Decent person thing definitely implies our bull Raven here wasn't always the best. And perhaps joining the rebellion is kind of a fix mistakes move. That's always good. More volunteers are helpful, as long as they're not a traitor. Well, that's actually convenient. How are they handling diverting so many enemies, though? But I suppose their armis units being heavily diverted is why this first stage is not that heavily populated by them. It's like, it's just a bunch of little ships for the most part, and a handful of armis units. They seem to help get your feet under you before really throwing you into the thick of it. It would certainly help make the power gap statement earlier make more sense. Oh, the camera just zooms in a little. Okay. I was curious if the camera switch was tied to that vertical shooting segment that they were talking about. But I'm assuming those are separate stages. Yeah, but it's not like we're damaging public property fighting you guys. We're just destroying all your stuff. Desperation doesn't make what either side's doing better. How can you tell how tight I'm gripping my controls? I like fooling around. Oh no, he's yelling Fang, not me. Okay. And again, we're sitting here at full health, just ripping them apart. I guess as we shouldn't really be concerned about anybody chiding me at the moment. We're doing our job. We just gotta hold out for 2 more minutes. Not bad, not bad. More upgrades, the merrier. You can definitely tell that our missile launcher is one of the favored choices here, considering it's level 7. Though the orbit laser really wasn't chosen most of the time, it just happened to get upgrades. I'm pretty sure I could just stand still at this point and we'd be fine. That yellow bar, by the way, above the health is how you can tell whether you have a dash available or not. That's why I just dashed there as I was checking that. I wasn't sure. There sure is a lot of them, you're right about that. Yeah, you know, when 2 forces that sound like they're sizable work together, it does seem like it'd be a problem for a small group like ours. I'm assuming this rebellion isn't that big. Very few rebellions are
という間に
that
枯れて
big.
しまうわ。だな、まったく連合のお偉いさんは何を考えているのか。
何も考えてないんだよ。自分たちが
In my
何をしている
imagination,
の
did
か
that armis only have one arm? I noticed that about a bunch of them. They just show up with one gun arm and an empty space on the other side, which just seems questionable. Like, why bother with a fully humanoid-shaped design if you're only going to give it one arm? I feel like the balance on that machine would be problematic. Like, at the very least, even if you're not going to put anything on that other arm, at the very least put the other arm there, so that when it's walking it doesn't have to have a complete different counterbalance set to it to not have to worry about that. Oh, there we go. Now we have a specific destination we can get to. Okay. And where is said destination? That way. I didn't expect this to be a multi-part thing. I thought this was just going to be like a one-done deal. Oh, it was a one and done. It just gave you a target to go to end the stage. Okay. Now we have Cyrus, who was the guy codenamed Phantom, I presume, that was talking a lot. Logan, which was Fang. Got the Claymore Armis of the Spada series, which I assume was our target. We got Canis R Cyrus version. Canis R Logan version. Chapter 1-2. Alright. And we got 7,000 credits. And we do have, yeah, because they are playable now. Though you'll notice they have different amounts of upgrades available to them and different amounts of starting points, which is kind of neat. Like, Georg starts with guaranteed wingman as the Cyrus. Cyrus starts with 3. He locked in and he maxes out his damage and his damage reduction immediately. Does he even have any stats that go higher than Georg's? No, he just has better starting stats, and then he'll crap out after a bit. I don't really see a reason to use him. Same problem with Logan, really, because, again, he has good starting stats, but his follow-up's terrible. Like, I could see a use to using these two to get the credits to level Georg, but I don't see any reason to stick with either of them after that. Speaking of, let's go ahead and get some of these credits spent. So I do want to take a look and see if we have the unlock system yet. No. If we did, I was going to spend my money there, so we had a reason to play the other characters. A bunch of damage upgrades. It's not much better it felt once we had the movement speed. We'll go ahead and get us some default movement speed. We don't really need the wingman deployable upgrade, I don't think, anytime quick. Get us a bunch of XP boosts and some luck. I'm gonna keep these relatively even for the moment. Keyword to that being relatively even. Actually, no, I did pretty good keeping that pretty on par. Most things being 3 and 4, with health and durability being the lower ones, because with enough firepower, you don't really need to worry about that. So yeah, with the upgrades we have now, there's genuinely no point in playing the other two, other than having a different portrait, or using Cyrus to get one more wingman. That's all there is right now. So that's a little unfortunate. And yeah, now you can go to free play mode in places you've already been, but let's go ahead and continue the story. Oh, we don't actually get any backup for this one, huh? Alright then. Let's have a look at the difference for these various bodies here. We got the AMSP-1 Spada Series Claymore that starts with the beam assault rifle, has incredible attack power and speed, acceleration's kind of deceleration's also not great. Very good turn performance and very good collection area. The first of 13 armis prototypes developed by the legendary scientist Dr. Baxis. Oh yeah, and it has 700 HP. Looks like we're also locked into this, so I can't actually look at the other ones right now. But based on what I remember of the thing we were flying before this is leaps and bounds better, and you have no reason to use the other one unless you want to make the game harder. Are you ready?
各員遅れるなよ。
スパーダの調子はどうだい？
順調だと言いたいところだが、こいつには何か計り知れないものがあるな。俺の手に負えるものではないようだ。悔しいな。お前でもか。そいつは文字通り化け物だな。
Okay, so the beam assault rifle just fires one shot instead of a burst. That's fine by me. Looks like the beam has piercing, so that's perfectly fine. Let's go ahead and take the orbit missiles so we have some coverage. Make sure we have some coverage in a direction other than explicitly where I'm firing. Ooh, request support. Support fire from allied units. Neat, but I don't have any allied units, so I don't think I want that right now. Unless that is like a ship. Oh yeah, because the guns look like they're ship guns, so I guess it might be like attacks from off-screen? Let's give it a try. Yeah, it counts as a weapon, so it'll be off-screen shots. Yeah, that's actually pretty good. I like that. Tracker randomly generates damage zones at enemy locations. Sure, just make things explode. That sounds fun. I swear, these days, every time I start stream, I start hearing people banging doors and doing all kinds of noisy nonsense. It was completely quiet until now. So from the sound of that, that might be the mail. So I may need to check on that when the next ad comes up. Now let's see. Cross-force shield generates a constant barrier around the player that damages and knocks back enemies on contact. More max HP or the orbit laser back. Let's go ahead and take the max HP. Almost looks like we're just slapping them with our gun for our melee attack with this. Vertical missile, attack a random target. Or the missile launcher, attack a random enemy. Or the wave tomahawk, parabolic attack in vertical direction. Let's go ahead and have random missile. No, I want that. There we go, got the container. Just a max HP upgrade. Of course, top secret project. Ooh. Gain more credits, expand weapon attack area, or increase projectile speed. Honestly, since we seem to be winning this one pretty free and clear at the moment, let's get the credit upgrade. More money, more prizes. Sure, now we'll take the wave tomahawk. Nope, I did get hit. And it hurt a lot. Much more important that I actually pay attention and dodge this time, since we're alone. There we go, get more than one shot out of the beam rifle. Okay, now I understand. He's swapping to some kind of like spear. That's why it kind of looks similar to the rifle at this size. More missiles, sure. now we're starting to make some headway here. Got range.
スパーダは同時期に開発されたシリーズの呼び名なんだ。
Act area.
正式名称 AMSP-01 クレイモア。
シリーズってことはこんなのがまだ他にもあるってか。
I assume it was intended to be a series. It may not have necessarily.
いや、
Yeah.
記録では全てスクラップ扱いになったんだ。このクレイモアは僕が再現したにす
So
る。
he did this on his own.
と言っても1ミリの狂いも
Ooh,
な
it
い
made
自信
the
作だ
side
けどね。
weapons spread shots. I like that.
記録ではということは確実ではないということだ。
Some
そうなん
variability.
だ。
You're seeing more
でも
enemies.
こんなパイロットに負荷のかかりすぎる機体誰も乗りこなせないけどね。ゲオルクが異常なんだよ。
Yeah, if this is taking a lot out of the pilot, then that would explain why it didn't get put into full use.
分かったからコードネームを忘れるな。何？
Yeah, I assume they're using code names when they're on more open channels that could be intercepted so that they can keep their identities down, since, you know, it is a rebellion after all. Wouldn't want it to be too open with who they are. I feel like it wouldn't be that hard to figure out anyway. 'Cause I assume these people have to have normal day jobs just to be able to keep everything running and keep a cover going. So all it would take is figuring out who's missing from their normal places when these attacks happen, and you can kind of narrow it down from there pretty quickly without it being that hard to do.
ファング、娘は元気か？
Especially when they talk about things like this
アメリアを紹介したのは1年
and
前。
very openly say their daughter's name. Kind of takes away the whole point of having a code name when you talk of family.
おいおい、そりゃ大丈夫なのか？
ホワイトファングに入りたいと言い出してな。妻は大反対さ。
Like, okay, now we just need to look through the records for a man and who is married, whose daughter's name is Amelia. And what do you know? We've now found a member of the White Fang. Bing bang boom, easy. There we go, now we have more than one random attack spot. Get some more money.
お前さんじゃろ。
We've got this pretty well under control, I think. But a little bit more damage from the side guns isn't a bad idea, because they clear really well, just because of how much coverage they have now. And the best part is they don't originate from me, so I don't have to worry about being near the targets. 2 health upgrades. Alright. Down for that. 4 vertical missiles. Once we have enough projectiles going, it really just becomes easy meat. We also have 3 dashes with this thing, it looks like. I just realized. So that's pretty neat. Sure, more vertical missiles. I don't even know where this container came from. I wasn't really looking at myself. Do bear in mind that we're actually outpacing our missile spawner. It's actually like an option following me around. So that actually alters where those missiles are going to come from. Kind of an important thing to keep in mind when you're trying to target with these things. This poor guy just got shredded immediately. He didn't even know what was happening. Another container. More area for my tomahawks. Wow, that is a lot more area. Though I gotta say, with the way this game's laid out, the way these tomahawks attack is weird. Is they're designed the same way other Survivors game designs their axe weapons, where you throw them up and they come back down, but it goes to the side of you and then goes flying across the field the other way, which doesn't quite work as well on this layering. I think it's fine. It just looks a little strange to me, you know? And perhaps that's just me. But when I'm flying around like this, I don't have too much to worry about, so I'm just kind of observing things. And admittedly, if you really wanted to question things, you could also question how those lasers are firing from the exact same positions off screen every time, no matter how I'm flying.
こちらの準備は万端だ。心配せずに行ってこい。
So what was I accomplishing here to begin with? Was I just like a distraction, or was this to test the claymore?
僕は君に無事戻ってきてほしいよ。
ほら、コードネームで呼ぶんだ。ありがとう。
Yeah, Owl's still new to the whole code names thing, so he's having a little bit of trouble with that idea. Especially referring to somebody he actually knows. Seems like he cares quite a lot about him coming out of this alive. Which really isn't in any doubt right now. But you know, the concern is understandable, since this thing's apparently a very demanding machine. We might actually be in more danger from the machine than we are from the enemy. Ah, equipped Gungnir. I don't know what this is, but oh, this is probably gonna be the vertical section. Yup.
これより宇宙に出る。みんな無事に帰れよ。またいつか酒を酌み交わそう。すべては故郷のために。
Gotta go to space.
故郷のために。
故郷のために。
ゲオルク、死なないでくれ。
前処しよう。では行ってくる。
So everything we picked up does affect this mode. Interesting. See, I was worried that this mode was going to be, like, crazy difficult because, you know, vertical scrolling shmup, but with firepower like this at my command, I'm not as concerned suddenly. But at the same time, that could mean that these are going to be very nasty fights instead. So I guess you two are going to be my opponents, huh? I think I know why you weren't on the battlefield that much. Also, you're just kind of sitting there. Oh, they are chewing me up good, though. Oh, I can back up. Okay. So that's why they were able to just sit on my head there. Oh, edge of the screen, though. Bright side is I can dodge them a little bit more than I thought. Not that much, though. We're in this big and gainly thing, and they're still in free-moving armises. Yeah, they're trying to bait him out of it so that he can fly. I mean, you got a certain amount of logic there.
帝国軍はみんなそうなのか。
いや、こいつが異常なんだ。いつもてめえの
I mean, that does seem
シー
important.
トが合うかを気にして
There
やる。
goes another one.
大事なこったろ。体が固定されてなきゃちゃんと操縦
Yeah,
できね
exactly.
えだろうが。
If you're seated properly, you can definitely move better.
神経質すぎるんだよこいつは。
こんな形でなければゆっくり話してみたかったな、帝国の兵士たちよ。
I mean, why not have some banter with your enemy? It's not like we're going anywhere. I mean, they are. Straight to the grave, but you know. I'm sure they'll somehow survive to haunt me later. These things probably have ejection seats. Probably.
スカイロック。
Get a load of that
空の
thing.
監獄とはよく言ったものだ。奴らの傲慢さを体現したような見た目だな。遠慮なく破壊させてもらうぞ。
Shouldn't we have kept the big flying machine for this? I guess we're not dealing with that right now. You know what? Fair enough. But yeah, first try, nice and smooth. Not as much money as the previous stage, but there wasn't as many containers that we got. Even though we did have some credit boosts. And we now have a yellow Canis in Chapter 1-3. Let's keep on upgrading. Based on how that last fight went, though, let's get us some damage reduction. And then some health for those flight segments. That thing's a little ungainly. By comparison to our nice little mech. Which makes sense, though. It is, you know, much bigger. And it's designed for thrust, I presume, not for maneuverability. So, I forgot to read off the chapter we just did. Skylock, a symbol of Imperial control, is a massive structure encircling Earth. Yorg heads alone into the Death Zone to destroy it. And now, the day it all began. On the day the Empire signs its Earth Treaty, Yorg launches his final assault while Emperor Bastrom's speech echoes. And we got one more one more episode to chapter 1. And of course, no one's with us still because, you know, kind of up in space. We only had the one Gungnir unit, I guess. Or the Claymore was the only thing compatible. One or the other. Obviously, still with the Claymore. Let's do this.
各員遅れるなよ。
青き星の民、私は残土帝国皇帝バストラムである。今この時、この星は我々の慈愛のもとに置かれることを
This is where debris destroying starts coming into play.
これは地球に向けた演説か。
Try the missile pods this time.
これまで無数の星々を通し、正当な進化へと繁栄をもたらせてきた。この星にも。
I mean, just because you've governed countless planets doesn't mean you can govern this one too.
青き星が未だ旧時代的な戦争と
Bureaucracy mostly.
貧困に
And
満ちている
humanity
の
being
はなぜ
humanity.
自己愛に満ちた一部の指導者たちによってあるべき進
You
化
know,
の
he's got a
道
point
を
about that.
虚偽の安寧で包まれているからだ。我々の強力な統治の下でそれら全てを消し去り新たな時代を迎えよう。
Are we sure this whole Imperial rule thing is a problem? Because they're making a lot of sense at the moment.
青き星への冒涜である。
At the same time, though, to resist is human.
新たな幸福を享受することができる。しかしそれは
That axe seems like a problem. I don't want you touching me with that.
物のみに与えられるのだ。
EMP seems like a good idea now.
愛すべき友人たちよ
Really seems like an overstatement to be calling us beloved friends.
我々のもとで真に生きることを学ぶがいい従えそして繁栄を謳歌せよ共に反乱の目を根絶やしにするのだ
See, eradicate sounds like a really harsh word.
狂ってやがる
And maybe it's just me, but I feel like he's the type to eradicate anything that he doesn't agree with. Which makes you really wonder how he's any better than what we would be leaving behind, you know? Doesn't seem like it's necessarily an improvement. He's just claiming it's an improvement because it would be him in charge. And him being in charge is clearly a good thing. Really having to play the safe game here with these big guys. We don't have that much in the way of firepower at the moment. I passed up the support fire, which I probably shouldn't have. Because what we've got going right now really isn't anything that exciting. That was less effective than I would have liked it to be. Our goal is to survive, so I have to assume that we're meant to be able to succeed here. Oh man, that's a lot of enemies. Like, they're actually taking me seriously now. Wait, container. That'll help. Maybe not. I kind of expected more out of that container, I'll be honest with you. I need more speed. Okay, give me the spread Vulcan to clear things that are directly around me. There's a heal. Really should be doing more dodges at once. I'm noticing sometimes I'm losing directional control at awkward times. I was using the keyboard. It's mostly after I pick an upgrade though, so I think it's just because I can't just keep holding the button at those instances. Which makes sense, that's fairly common. Okay, it is the usual thing. Okay, as long as I just double dash away from one of the big guys that's actively going for me, it seems like we're okay. And we did manage to get rid of one of them. Okay, that's how the orbital shield will work. You know, that's fine. The fact that it damages enemies on contact is why I was kind of into it. There we go. Now we're getting our health back up. Because the big guys are the ones dropping the health. We just were struggling to break through them. But now that they're falling, now it's all locking into place. There we go. That's a much better chest. Why couldn't you have given me a box like that when I was in danger, huh? That makes a big difference. Not that the other one didn't make a difference itself, but, you know, it could have made more of a difference. Thank you for the health. You didn't need it anymore anyway. Raising our weapon damage, because we need that to start making ground here. And you might be thinking, oh, you don't need to worry about that. You only got 30 seconds left. We don't know if there's a second stage to this. Personally, I would be banking on there being a second stage to this fight, based on the way the previous stages have worked so far. I wouldn't be surprised if we're gonna have a boss fight. There we go, double shield. So now we got shields on both ends. Oh, I made it to the top of the screen with my slow vertical scrolling that I was doing. Thank you for the resub, Free. Hope you're doing well. Benham. Complete enemy gauge. Get a load of that thing. Nice, nice. Hope you're having fun. We're just out here uprooting an empire that wants to take over Earth. You know, the usual. Hell yeah. Try and get some more EMP. Looks like I'm just supposed to just defeat enemies to reduce his gauge, and he's just kind of flying around. So I can't see a way to directly attack him. Like, I can scroll so that we're, like, touching the top here, but it doesn't seem to be doing anything in particular. It's just a really nifty bit of background. And while they argue... Yep, they sent the big boys again. They're nowhere near as dangerous for me now. Oh, that I've got some upgrades under me, though. Just crush right through them. Now that they can't do as much damage, I can just cut right through them. Yep, special squad deploying, huh? Explode. Explode. And your turn. Come on. Come here. Explode. I love that they started running from me instead now. They understand that they're in danger. I am in fact a meddling kid and a pesky fool. This is true. More health. Yes, more missiles. I do wonder what breaking these asteroids actually does for me. Some of them explode, which is helpful, like that one. And we've had at least one that, like, seemed to give me some kind of, like, material? I don't know what it was, what it did. You say it's futile, but you're the ones who keep flying over and dying. Sorry, assistance through domination is not really my thing. How about you give in, and maybe you'll learn a thing or two from me instead. Nah, I have no interest in falling. Well, that's the thing there, bud. That's all he's got on him, is he's all talk. He's got this whole big ship, and you know what he's done with it? Nothing. He's just hanging around, letting everybody else do the work for him while he pretends to be a cool guy. Raising my weapon damage. His meter started depleting real fast there. I assume it's because of just how much his forces are getting crushed now. The way everything is exploding, it seems like it might be a good idea to lower the volume again a little bit. Background music seems okay, but I'm gonna go ahead and just cut that a little bit. Just kind of like cut everything down together just a touch. Sure, we'll have more orbit shields. Look, I have 3 shields now. I swear I looked up there a moment ago and it said 2 minutes something. But I get... Oh, there we go. Glory to the Empire as you explode. Now, there's a little escape pod looking thing though, so he's probably not dead. We'll see him again. That's what I figured. Boss fight against the Skylock itself, since we are supposed to destroy it. I assume the real fight starts now. And based on the amount of guys with axes coming at me, yeah, I think that's exactly what's going on here, is now this is the real fight. Everything else was just to prep you so you'd be strong enough to do this fight. Very glad I got those shields. They're doing a great job of trimming down the little guys. Upgrade the spread Vulcan, which is also good for things that get close to me. We're getting hit occasionally because I'm just crashing into things with my death burst that's around me. But that's what the healing pods from the soldiers are for. Thanks for the free stuff, fool. That is a lot of free stuff, actually. That might be the... actually, no, might be about that. That's the most upgrades we've gotten out of one chest so far. Based on the fact that the meter actively depletes depending on the enemies you're defeating, all you're really doing with these boss fights is just defeating specific amounts of enemies. These shields are actually, like, really powerful, which you would not expect from a shield in terms of attacking things, necessarily. But it's working. Send more enemies. Give me more. Oh no, you hit me. Oh, what a shame, you're dead. Now I've healed. I assume a big part of this is obviously Chapter 1's meant to be more to teach you about things than necessarily be difficult. Like, it shows its teeth a little bit still anyway. But it's obviously still meant to be more introduction than... Oh god, I need to scramble to live. I'm thinking about it. I don't know why I didn't realize this before, but I think that timer up there at the top is actually a potential fail state. I think if we take too long, we lose. Lose type deal. Not really too inclined to find out. Oh, we found it. Ah, okay, so the meteors are more like the boxes and such from other Survivors games. So you break them and you might get at any number of things. In this case, we got a magnet. which is why suddenly all the remaining crystals were flying towards us. That makes a lot more sense suddenly. Would have been kind of neat if they had done this with like an actual like active mode switch that you had control over. Like you would go between plane mode and mech mode. Or just as a part of regular gameplay instead of it being two separate segments. Though I could imagine that that'd be very difficult to pull off well, so... no judgment towards how it is being done now. It's obviously pretty fun. I'm having a good time. And since we are approaching the hour mark, for those so inclined, there is the store page there, if you're at all interested in the game. So you can check it out for yourselves. And once the ad kicks in here, I will be getting up to check to see if any packages were delivered, because I'm pretty sure I heard one had dropped off that I'm gonna need to go fetch, so it doesn't sit out there too long. But it's not like raining or anything, so it's not an immediate, I need to go out there and go get it right this moment deal. It's just real cold, so you don't want things just sitting out there for all day. Max HP, very good. Ironically enough, the timing for the ad starting and the timer for this mission are pretty synced up, and that's genuinely very funny to me. It's like, well, if you lose the battle, we're going to commercial break. What a shame. There's a lot of parallels you could draw there, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. We were gonna get that container, but I think we finished blowing up the sky prison. Okay, no, something's supposed to be happening. I saw the skip prompt. I think it might have broke, though. So we're just gonna go ahead and skip that, unfortunately. Operation success. Those numbers are still stuck there. Well, both of those scenes broke. We won a little too hard and broke everything. We got Alita for the Rebel Forces, Benham for the Imperial Army, the Vaca Imperial mass-produced unit, the Vaca Eos version, the Vaca Levtev version, the Canis Alita version, and Chapter 2-1. Oh, fatal error, the game crashed. I'm gonna boot the game back up, because we're not quite done with this segment, and so you guys have music while I am occupied going and checking on what I was talking about. Let's just make sure that my progress was saved. Okay, very good. Be back in just a moment, y'all. Okay, turns out nothing was delivered. I have no idea what I heard. But I wanted to take a quick look at the characters we got. Before we headed on. Interesting. So he's not playable, but we unlocked him. Not really sure how that's supposed to work. I guess it's like a character dossier type deal. Yeah, no one has higher max stats than Georg. Like in any category. Like I was assuming some of these characters would have like higher maximums in a couple categories and lower in others to make them have like more unique play styles and specific reasons to play them. But none of them do. Can we do anything with this yet? Aha! We got another Canis. Okay, so this isn't a gacha, this is just leveling this system up, I guess. So now we got access to the things that we just unlocked before. Okay. We'll take a look. We're not actually going into a mission again. You. This way we can just see the stats on all these mechs right quick before we stop playing this. Very good speed, kind of bad at everything else other than collection area. Very similar, just it has a machine gun instead of a beam gun and a bit more health. This one comes with a grenade launcher, so that's fun. And then, of course, the Earth-specific one, and just the plain Canis, which seems like it's more or less the same as our starting Canis. Except a lot less health. Like, instead of 500 health, that is 120. Why would you use this? Beam machine gun. Okay, so you also have a grenade launcher with Cyrus's Canis. Bazooka with Logan's, which we saw him using before. Claymore, of course. Okay. I just wanted to take a look at those things before we packed on off to the second game. This was a good game, though. This is fun. I do highly recommend it for those who enjoy Survivor-style stuff with a dash of vertical shooter. Unfortunately, since I stepped away during the ad, we're going to have to quickly take a moment to get things converted over